Now, a convicted murderer and rapist has been sentenced to life imprisonment today in what is the oldest double jeopardy case in England. Dennis McGrory was 28 when he sexually assaulted, stabbed and strangled 15-year-old Jacqueline Montgomery in her home in North London back in 1975. He was initially acquitted but was later found guilty after a swab from her body was retested and showed a match with his DNA. Jacqueline Montgomery was raped and murdered on the 2nd of June 1975 in her North London home. The next day, Dennis McGrory was arrested. He had a bruised lip, a long scratch to his neck and smaller scratches to his wrist and arm, which he claimed were caused when he was assaulted by a group. He was charged with her murder on the 10th of July. He went on trial the following year. However, he was acquitted after the judge ruled there was insufficient evidence for a conviction. But in November 2015, at the request of Jackie's family, the Metropolitan Police began a review of the case and resubmitted a swab that had been taken from Jackie's body back in 1975. Having found a DNA match from the swab, Dennis McGrory was arrested and charged in March 2020. He went on trial at the Old Bailey in March 2022. He was convicted of rape and murder during a second trial at Huntingdon Crown Court on the 19th of December 2022.
You attended 119 Offord Road that night. It is clear that there was a violent struggle between you and Jackie. As I've already noted, furniture was turned over, the phone was off the hook, and there was a pulled lock of hair. There was a violent struggle, you raped Jackie, and your violence culminated in you murdering her, literally stabbing her to death.
We can go live now to Huntingdon. Sky's Emma Birchley, who is now outside the court for us. Justice served, Emma, nearly 50 years after the death of teenager Jackie Montgomery, really down to a change in the law back in 2003 that permitted a retrial.
Yes, changes in the law, so the change to the double jeopardy legal principle, that was overthrown in 2003. So it meant that Dennis McGrory, could face the same charge once more. But not only that, another crucial factor is the improvements in science, the DNA tests that could be done on the swabs which were taken at the time and thankfully were kept for all those decades, and which proved a 1 billion to 1 match with McGrory. At the time, there was a trial in 1976, but the judge threw that case out of court at the Old Bailey because he said the evidence was circumstantial. So that DNA evidence really changed this case. But it was a really horrific crime that this 15-year-old girl went through, protecting her aunt. So McGrory had gone there wild with rage, wanting the information about where his ex-partner, Jackie's aunt, lived. And she, in stopping giving that information, trying to prevent that happening, was burnt on the leg. She was stabbed in the back. The knife puncturing her heart, her stomach and her liver, and she had the flex of an iron around her neck, and he denied that crime for all those years. But of course now, finally, in a trial here ending last month, he was found guilty both of rape and murder. A really long wait for the family. And after the sentencing today, which saw McGrory given 26 years in jail, of which he will serve a minimum of 25 years and 126 days, we heard from Jackie's family, her older sister, Kathy Montgomery. This is what she had to say.
She suffered, that girl, you know. She was a little girl, you know. She suffered. She didn't deserve what she got, but he deserved what he got just now. That reflected, you know, that reflected it.
How hard has it been for you knowing that he's been out for decades?
Soul destroying. Soul destroying. Knowing I couldn't do nothing to, you know, nothing to get near him. And we all know he'd done it since day one.
Well, Dennis McGrory appeared via video link with a mask over his face, wearing a dark sweatshirt. He was told by Mr Justice Bryan that in the decades that followed, you must have thought you got away with the heinous crimes. And he added, you have not shown one iota of remorse for what you have done.